Bringing the platen down so you can change the shaft seal, you simply go to hood height and bring it down to 0. As you do this, the platen's going to lower, and if you watch the shoulder bolts, you'll see if all of the weight is taken off. If all of the weight is taken off, then that's fine. If it's not, and your shoulder bolt still has this size gap, you can just put a little bit of cardboard under the platen, as we'll show you in the next clip, just to take the weight off, which makes it easier to remove the platen arm. With the grill turned off now, what we're going to do is just raise the platen arm and just slide a bit of cardboard in the middle point of the grill plate towards the back if needed. Lower it down, and as you lower it, you'll see we remove the weight from here. So we're a little bit far forward, so we're just going to move that cardboard further back. As we move it further back, you'll see the rear now takes the weight, which means these bolts, they're not held in with any force, so they should now be easy to remove. We're going to undo this bolt and undo this bolt, depending on the version. If you have the arm with a high definition or high density aluminium cast, you'll need to unscrew these from the pin. If you have the early version, you'll just need to loosen these by about 4 turns. Once the bolts are undone or loosened, these pins will just come forwards and come out. Because there's no weight on them, you can see this is already coming forwards. If you need to, use a small screwdriver to help push it forwards. As there's no weight on it, you can see how easy this pin is to pull out. If needed, you can use a small screwdriver just to reach in and pull it. If not, it will pull out and the platen will drop whilst resting on the cardboard. Now what we need to do is remove the 2 Teflon bushes, which will be in the PM kit, just from the back there. If you don't remove those, they tend to fly all over the floor. Then we need to lift the platen up off of the knuckle and expose the other 3/4 inch bolts. The next step is to remove this front stainless steel wear pad. You'll need 2 Allen keys and undo these. So loosen these off, and when you remove both of the screws, you'll then expose 1 large 1/4 inch set screw. Behind this pad you may find behind the pad you may see the shim, depending if the grill needs it or not. This grill probably should have a shim, but looking from the components it doesn't look like one's fitted. At the back, you'll now the wear pad's removed, you can now see the large set screw opening. This will have a locking cap and then the set screw. These can be extremely tight, so you should use high quality Allen tools. This should be done up very tight. You'll find when removing it may take a lot of effort. On some they fitted them with Loctite on the early grills. If you have one of these, it means you'll have to fight with it all the way, but it will come. Again, if you're using cheap, low quality tools, you will end up rounding out your Allen key and you will damage the top. Once the locking cap is removed, you then have to do the set screw itself. Once this has been removed or loosened to almost all the way out, you'll see the knuckle now becomes loose and moves side to side. Now we need to remove the 3/4 inch bolts that hold on the cap. So these can all come off, they shouldn't be that tight, and that'll then expose the seals. Once you've removed the 3 bolts, you can then lift the seal cap. This cap should only be removed from the shaft from the top. Do not remove it from the bottom or you'll damage the seal. You'll see the underside of the cap has the green wiper seal. This is compression fitted, so removing it can be a little challenging. Best way to do this is put it on the back of the arm, and then using a screwdriver you can just tap it out. This seal will never be able to be used again if you do this. Okay, you can now see the seal is out, and now you can fit the new seal. With the seal removed, you've now got to remove the black O-ring from around the cap in the base as shown. We can now refit both the green seal and the black seal. First, we'll start by inserting the new O-ring into the seating position. This should sit inside the groove and hold there nicely. Once you've done that, you take the new green wiper seal. Sometimes these will compress into the cap, sometimes they're loose. The preferred method to refit these is to slide the grease seal or the wiper seal over the shaft before you put it on the cap. So you just slide it over, take it all the way to the bottom, and then you fit the cap on afterwards. As you tighten the 3 bolts, this will then fit the cap into the seal and it should stay nice and consistent. We've now fitted the cap on loosely. We're just going to finish up by tightening those up. This should ensure that the seal fits into the cap nice and consistently and doesn't go at a strange angle, causing any gaps. You can now see the edge of the green seal is now protruding from the cap just slightly. This is now sealed in nice and tightly. Now the rear of the grille is assembled, it's time to refit the carriage block. So we just slide it on top, and then we have to do up the 1/4" set screw. This should be done all the way, and it will hold the grille or the carriage block in place. This must be done up at 450 pounds of torque, or effectively a lot of oomph. Once the set screw is installed and tight, you then fit the locking cap. Locking cap, very much the same as the set screw. You need to put it in. Once in, you then have to do it up nice and tight. If you fail to do this up properly, the platen will sway left and right more than designed, and that will then cause interference with other platens or canopies. We've now got to reinstall the Platen Arm onto the carriage block. For this we'll need the 2 pins, the new Teflon washers that came in the PM kit, and then some muscle. Okay. So we still have the cardboard in from earlier, which helps us to align the holes without having to lift and carry. So you can see the pins slotted in nice and easy. We have to fit the new Teflon washers onto the tilt section and then put in the pin. Once these are in place, you just need to finish off by tightening up the set screw at the back and the set screw for the main pin. Once everything is reassembled and the platen clear of all old debris and tools, we can reset the power and turn it on.